Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session, and be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to discuss some basic informations that you can use for develop your own spiritual foundation. So that information is very important from the beginning, because on the wisdom path, the one of the important thing is called Parato Ghosa. So Parato Ghosa means you somehow you have to listen it from somebody. So that is the first entrance point that you can gain the wisdom. Otherwise, if whatever in your head, if you just go with it, sometimes it's not going to take you to the right place. Because if it is possible, then we should already go there. But then you have to understand this, whatever inside our head is not enough for us to bring the complete change within ourselves or uplift our life to a better, more higher purpose. So that's why listening is important. And listening doesn't mean that you always listen to everything and you gain everything. No, you have to know always to listen to some kind of information related to loving kindness, generosity, and the compassion wisdom. Not anything that influence or ignite your greed, hatred, or the delusion. So that is where you have to be very careful. So then when it comes to our day-to-day life, and everybody try to practice some kind of meditation, and we all are like to become more better, and everybody wish for happiness and satisfaction. But most of time we can see day by day that our life become a struggle. So then we wish for something, but outcome, or we experience something else. So then there should be something missing. So what is that? And how we can fix that? So today we are going to talk about it. So when it comes to our mind, there are two kinds of nature. So one is reactive nature, and another one is respond. nature. So when you understand this both together, which is reactive nature, when it arises, is it a reactive nature? Or when the response nature arises, is it a response nature? So once you understand this both, you are capable to maneuver these thoughts inside you before it become an action. This maneuvering system allow you to transform the thought inside you. And that is why your consciousness come and interfere. So while it happens, just imagine when the reactive nature arises, if your consciousness become aware about that, what happens, that very reactive energy becomes slow down because it's going to stop somewhere and wait a little bit. That waiting moment create a gap inside you within your reactive nature and your bodily, verbally, mentally action that go to outside world. So this gap is a kind of like having a very empty space that it's another way to call that middleness of mind. So the middleness of mind means that because there is a reactive nature rise in you, and at the same time that it still not became action. So, but it going to become action. But now in the middle, your consciousness come, in your mind come and start to recognize me. So in that very moment, what happens? You start to experience something else. So responsive nature also the same. When the responsiveness arises in your mind, once you know it, what happens, before it going to become a bodily, verbally, or mentally action, in the middle of that, it start to audit, recognize, inspect by the consciousness. So during that time, your mind enter into, it's kind of like a equalizing that your mental behavior and the physical reaction. So in between this period, we call equanimity. In the Pali, it's called upekka. So equanimity. So it's just not only just the equanimity, there is a way it's called unconditional, universal, beautiful equanimity. Why it is say that? Unconditional. So because in that very moment, your mind, your awareness, not conditioned or not bound by anything. Universal. And it is everywhere in human mind. Underneath all our thoughts, that consciousness is there, and in between anybody's thoughts and action, that period you can find. It's universal. It is just not on you, and it is always there. Only thing is sometimes we can't find it. Beautiful. Why it is beautiful? It is so pleasant. It is not bound by the greed, hatred, or the delusion, or it's not bound by any desires. Equanimity. It equalizes your moment of consciousness to universe. And there is no karma in that very moment. Because the karma going to arise out of that, whatever the thought once start to generate as a bodily, verbally, or mentally action. So that's why it's a bring a kind of like a unshakable balance to the mind. And it's kind of like a bring, it's a naturalize, it's a kind of like a you completely harness with the nature, and at the same time, while you naturalize and it go to the neutral state inside you. So this is a kind of like the mental state that you achieve by practicing. And once you experience this, and you are capable to have a kind of like a mind, it's like undisturbed mind. So this is very necessary. Why? Because we live this life with depending from this outside world. We're always depending from the perception. And then there is the teaching called this 8 worldly conditions. And we are our life conditioned by this outside world. So one is gain and loss. And sometimes you gain things and you become happy. And sometimes for no reason, you lose everything. And you have to understand, you gain something, that's mean you gain from outside world. So then it belongs to outside world, and sometimes it's go away, lose. And sometimes perish and blame. And people perish us and say good things and uplift us. And sometimes the same people come against you. So this is the world, and you have to understand when the good come from outside world, you have to remember there is no power over it to handle just by yourself, because it belongs to somebody else. And it's all changeable. There is nothing come from unchangeable source. Everything, all the human mind change all the time. Today they will say something good about you, and tomorrow they say something bad about you. So that is the very nature of it. And sometimes some people say bad today, unpleasant things today, but that doesn't mean it's going to be every day the same. So tomorrow it's going to become different sometimes. So that's why this understanding is very necessary. And the other one is the fame and disrepute. So today, everybody accepts you. But tomorrow, everybody can reject you. So it always happens. And sometimes look, this when it comes to the social media, sometimes people become a follower, and at the same time, they have power to unfollow you. So don't become so happy about, oh, I have this much followers, or like that. It's not about you. It is their own decision. And maybe tomorrow, once you see that no one follow you, then you get disappointed. So that's happening now. And sometimes people now depend on others, like how many likes you get. When you post something, and always you checking how many likes. And if no one put any likes, what will happen? You get disappointed. So it's not about them. So this is why that is very necessary to understand this, the very nature of the world. There is no power over these outside things. So we have to understand that. Even though we are depending on it, we have now no power over it. And another one is pleasure and pain. So when we go with the pleasure always, we forget there is the other side. And the same pleasure and bring us the pain. And so that's why we have to understand this journey you have to handle just by yourself. There is no one can help end of the day. It doesn't matter whatever you go through, whatever these circumstances come to us, and that all possible to change. So don't depend on this surface level on face values. Don't look for head massage out of your just day-to-day life, because you're going to get hurt out of it. So then you have to get into the very bottom level of life and understand the reality of this. This all going to change one day. So nothing wrong that you experience this, but you have to remember, you have no rights to hold this anything as yours. That is the reality. So then can you let it be free? If you can let it be free, you are the one who's going to get benefit out of it, because you're going to find the freedom inside you. Because otherwise we always shake. So whatever happens, we get disturbed. Even when far away something happens, we get disturbed. Even close to us, something happens, we get disturbed. Even inside our mind, something happens, we get disturbed. So this disturbed always there. Why this disturb happen? Because we have a very preconditioned mind regarding the life, thinking the life should be good. There is no any law. There is no any fundamental theory that telling life should be good. So life should be as it is. Because the good or bad come out of our own point of view, our own time, space, energy, and according to our point of reference. What you mean by good, maybe you can change it to bad. So then be careful about your own life and build up a very clear mind yourself, very solid mind yourself to have this undisturbed nature inside you. And only place that you can find that, neutralizing this current inside you in between your reactive or responsive nature, in between the bodily, verbally, mentally action. There's no any other place for that. Because if you caught up in the reactive nature or responsive nature, then always there is something you bringing from past, or you always depend on comparison. And once it become a bodily, verbally, mentally action, what will happen? You are again responsible for that action. So then, but in between this, if you come to the point just to see and observe a little bit what will happen. So in that very moment, you are capable to see the cause and effect, and at the same time, you are capable to understand that things arise according to its own cause and conditions. And at the same time, you recognize once it become a bodily, verbally, mentally action, whatever the outcome going to happen. So most of time, the loss and the blame, disrepute, pain is not that much harmful for us. Because we are, when painful things there, we mostly stay away from it. Disrepute, we always Don't go with that. Blame, we don't accept it that much. We stay away from it. Loss, we that much it's not going to be with us all the time. We are not going to select the lost. So what is the secret then? The most of time, that it's kind of like you have to understand this. Demons come like angels. That is how it is. Wolf always come wearing the kind of like a deer's outfit. Look like, oh, beautiful. That is the nature. So then the loss, blame, disrepute, pain, how it come to you? So it come always, the loss come always, it's look like a gain. It's not look like a loss. It look like, oh, you're going to gain it, or gain it, get it. So your mind build up a structure, imagination, pattern, method. Oh, I'm gaining this. Not really this outside gain. The mentally that the life you develop, or your imagination, the world you create inside your mind, thinking about gaining, is the illusion. So that is where, when the loss happen, you're going to go crazy. Not with the outside, because outside things happen according to the cause and effect. If you have the very clear mind, you are capable to handle it. Look at the world. When things happen in the outside world, people somehow manage that. But when it happens inside us, very difficult for us to manage that. So this all happen inside us. That is what you have to understand. So the gain, when you hold it to the gain, when you always appreciate the gain, when you see only the gain, that is where the lost become powerful. That is where the loose going to become stronger. Because when the gaining idea becomes stronger, that is where your losing idea is going to be there with next to it. So then always remember, when you try to gain something, no, it's like a package. It's come with something. The gaining itself not going to become 100% complete. It's not going to happen like that way. So there's even this human body, and as you know, that when it comes to the male, female, in the female body, there are some male qualities. In the male body, there are some kind of female blueprints. So like that, everywhere in the darkness, there are some kind of spark, light. In the light, there are some kind of darkness. So it's a kind of like a blend. Always things blend. There is no kind of like 100% complete male body going to be in the world. No, there are some female behavior. Even the female the same. There is no 100% female going to be in the world. If it is so, it cannot exist in this conventional life. That's why once you attain to the enlightenment, as an ordinary person, you can't be here, because the nature not going to accept it. So you have to attain, you have to become a monk. So somehow, what you have to understand, even in this material world, this physical world, even in our mental world, there is no 100% completely anything can itself exist. So then when the gain is there, always remember the loss is also there. So that is where that the middleness of mind handle the gain. Because now you see the gain, but this middleness of mind, it's not going to get blind out of the gaining, because you know behind that loss also. So that make you mindful. And in that very moment, you create a kind of equanimity. And the perish and the blame. And always, when you go with other people, whatever they say, and if you remember there is something behind it, whatever the people can say, good things, appreciate you, perish you, but if you know they can blame you also, what will happen? You become little bit, withdraw from the situation. But what happens when sometimes when some people say good things about it, we completely fall into that. We don't see the other side. So then what happens when the people start to blame, you can't handle. So then learn to handle the perish, appreciation, how other people say, when in that very moment, be humble, you accept it, but at the same time, don't get blind out of it. And the fame, the same. And when you become so famous, and you have to remember, and not to get blind out of it. And you appreciate it, you become humble, but at the same time, you have to remember that there is a possibility they can reject you. So once you know that, you withdraw from that happiness you develop inside you, the joy you develop inside you. That is where you create the middleness, and at the same time, your mind become neutral. Pleasure. We are 100% look for pleasure. And we are completely mesmerized by the pleasure. That's why pain is there. But if you know, when you think about the pleasure, if you know there is pain also, that wisdom will take you out of the pain. But when you forget there is a pain, what will happen? We go 100% looking for the pleasure, and we ignite it, we appreciate it, we enjoy it, and that is where we gain the pain. So this is a worldly nature. This is not doing by anybody. This happened because everything happened as a result of something. Anything doesn't have power itself. Everything depends on something. So then even something appear and tell, oh, okay, I can do this. It's not like that. It always depends on something. So then remember yourself. Out of this whole spiritual practice, the ultimate point that you can come to equanimity. Neutralize mind. Middleness of the mind. Evenness of the mind. This is you everything the same in that very moment. That doesn't mean you are kind of like become very lethargic, dumb, ignorance person to appreciate, just look at everything the same. No, you see what is happening inside you, and you recognize where it take you. So that is the base of the wisdom, that you recognize this method. And recognizing that, and seeing the world, and will help you to stay away from the pain or stay away from the disappointment. Even it happened, you are capable to handle it. This is where it called wholesome action, because that wholesome state of mind, it never take you to any danger. So then it is very important for us to have this undisturbed mind, because you remember yourself, whatever you're going to handle, that it has its own nature, not belong to us. So then remember to develop this, to have undisturbed mind. Otherwise, always you get hurt. If you know you're going to get hurt, build up a strength inside you. Practice yourself before you enter into that. It's like a boxing game. Life is really like that. Life is like a boxing game. It's like a wrestling game. If you can't handle other person punch, don't get into the ring. The same like you get into affair, you get married, you have children, you develop friendship, you bringing things, you start to interfere with things. But if you don't know how to handle the situation, you're going to get hurt. And sometimes you're going to get, knockout punch. That is the very dangerous thing. So don't allow it to happen. Because once your knee go down, you out of the ring. So we can't do like that. So you have to handle this by mind, because you can't depend on anybody. There are a lot of people around us. There are a lot of people around you will tell many nice things to you, but you can't, it's nothing wrong with that. We also say nice things to them. But the thing is, there are situations come, no one can help you. So in that very situation, how are you going to handle the life? You can't go crazy. You can't get mad. How much you going to get mad? How far you have to go? You can't get disappointed. How many days you going to get disappointed? You can't blame. To how many times you're going to blame? Look at around you, you people make mistakes and disappoint, and you get disappointed. How many times you're going to get, blame to others? And even just you blame it, no one going to correct it themselves. They have their own way. People have each and everybody have their own way of life. They have their own God. They have their own kingdom. They are their own queen or the king, their own kingdom. They have their own rules, remember. So that's why you can't cross their kingdom. So it is well secured, guarded by their own emotions. You can't cross that. Only thing is, you have to bend and you have to just be with them. Then you can be. Otherwise, it's going to become hard for you. So that is the true nature of life. So nothing wrong with anything. From this entire human history, that is who we are. So even for the future, it's going to be the same. So then once you know that nature, what will happen? You become aware about you, not to look the gain, pleasure, fame, parents from others. And once you have that mind, you don't look for that. You don't have any desire to hear it from others. And that keep you little bit balanced. Another thing is, once you see this everything change, nothing forever, that make you balance. And once you know, no one can have ownership regarding anything in this world, that make you balance. Then whatever other people say, whatever other people do, not the good things, so whatever the bad things, and you're not going to get hurt, and whatever the good things, you're not going to become that much happy about it. You appreciate it. You contemplate on it. You remember that. You empower it. But still, you're not going to claim it as yours. So in that way, you make a journey yourself without getting hurt. Because once you get hurt, what happens? That hurt may be going to hide inside you. No one can see. Even you don't know you got hurt. But once you get hurt, it is very hard for us to recover from it. And little by little, when you get hurt, little by little, it deeper go into your heart and start to damage that. And it's little by little, once it get damaged, what happen? It affect for your own mind. And then by the time it affect for your creativity, it affect for your clarity, it affect for your newness, it affect for your moment by moment life. So then you can't experience the fullness in your life. You always experience half. Why? Because inside you damage. And not only that, with that damage, what happens? When you become a husband, wife, and when you make children, that children also cannot become complete because it is a result of damage. So that damage going to come within them also. See, it's go generations to generations. But there is a way that you can fix that damage. How? Becoming mindful. You are aware about it. And that is where in the moment, whatever you experience, if you become mindful in that very moment, there is no way that you can get hurt. So that is where you can fix your life right now, right here, and then continue it. And whenever that damage start to respond from inside you, damage start to react, don't allow it to overflow with the damage mindset. Because now you have power to see it. When the anger, disappointment, hatred, jealousy, sadness, worry, even the joy, happiness, satisfaction, pleasure, this all sometimes come as a result of internal damage. So we are mostly internally bleeding all the time. We all got hurt for many reasons, and we always get bleeding inside. But when you develop the mindfulness, you can fix that. So that is where you're going to completely get healed. So otherwise, don't keep putting bandage onto your damage. It's not going to work. What we does out of the happiness, the pleasure, the joy, satisfaction, out of day-to-day life, living, what we does, we bandage our unhappiness, our sadness, worry, disappointment, the damage. When something happens and things go wrong, misunderstanding, and to cover up that, we say, okay, let's go for a dinner and have a dinner. Let's go for a party. But that bandage not going to fix that, the damage happened. So the only way that you can fix it by yourself, becoming mindful. So then from this point to your entire samsaric journey, don't allow this inside bleeding to happen. So whatever happen, you take it as it is. You don't going to get mad. You're not going to get disappointed. You become a man or woman to handle it just by yourself. You take fully responsibility, whatever the feelings that happen to inside you. So that is where you build up the strength as a complete human being. And then for your children, parents, brothers, sisters, little by little, they can see that how your behavior changed. And then it go to them. And then your children start to learn it from you. Then it go to them. So then that is where you contribute yourself, this Dharma to humanity, just by practicing it. Not by just, saying it or preaching it, or not by just writing about it. So you are the only one can do that. But first, you have to develop it inside you, and you have to experience it. You have to have this undisturbed mind. And once you have it, you are the one who going to experience it, beauty. And that is where it takes you to a place to harness with the entire universe. And that is where it becomes universal, beautiful quality in you. So this equanimity, and all enlightened masters, that is the finally they have in their mind, nothing else. All the wisdom take you to have the equanimity. Each and everybody, poor to the rich person, president to the ordinary citizen, millionaires to beggars, and the man or the woman or the anybody anywhere, take to one place. Everybody is going to experience this, and this equanimity make us equal. So if you can reach that, it is possible. If you can reach to that, and you will recognize, you will experience this universal quality. So it is there. So that's why I bring this topic today. Experience it yourself and accept things, and don't get disturbed out of whatever happened to you. So in that way, you are capable to move forward. Important thing to have an undisturbed mind, because that is one of the best way that you can give a gift to other people. So with that, let's get into practice now. So your right palm on your left hand neck, head straight in one place. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So don't try to do anything, just observe the sensation of breathing. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Just settle down with the breathing. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, to spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ettavata chami sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.